let's start with this big question on the table, shall we? Is what changes have you seen in L&D throughout the course of the years? We can even go pre-pandemic and now. I think that there's been substantial changes within the industry and what we do, even within this short period of 24 months. But I'm curious as to your thoughts. What do you think have been the changes in the industry that you've seen in 2, 5, 10 years?
A lot more is done remotely than it used to be done and virtually. And obviously, pandemic accelerated needing to have an appetite for learning being delivered, not face to face. I mean, so that's a big change, is even just the organization recognizing that learning does not need to occur only in a class face-to-face classroom and not as an event, that it can
Mhm.
also be parsed out in smaller bits that are in the flow of work. And again, are not events. They are parts along a journey.
Right. Oh, I agree. I think remote work we've all been preaching about how we could work remote and how courses, classes, programs can all be delivered virtually, and now people are like, oh yeah, they can be. So I agree. That's been a big shift. What else are you seeing?
Customization.
Ooh, customization. All right.
And well, customization and the use of technology, right? Even though it might be quote unquote antiquated technology, but like ditching 1970s videos for something that was at least, in the 2000s. Something as simple as that there is actually a crave for better, in a way, and it's not so much a check the box, oh, hire this guy, they'll come in and they'll whip through a class for us, but more realistic to your special environment, because it appears to many that it's more accessible than it used to be, even though it's always been accessible. They just failed to identify that those tools were there for the taking.
Right. Right. I agree with you. I think that there's a more of a focus on getting the right content in front of the right people. And I remember way back when, boy, I'll be dating myself with this. Did anybody else have the CD content library? I see Deb shaking her head. Yes, and so it came in a binder and you had a subscription, almost like Netflix, where you got a CD in the mail for leadership or customer service or something like that. Yeah, I see lots of nods. And that was before we were really taking advantage of the internet, and we certainly before we had all of the ease of video tools that we have now, where that was the future back then. And so when you talk about 1970s training, Heather, learn on need and skills-based learning are pushing to the front of the line. Absolutely. And so would you guys agree with Heather on that skill-based learning certainly is taking a focus? What's your experience there?
So I work at a hospital system, so everything we do is skill-based at this point. Some of the other things that I've noticed, you guys had mentioned technology, but kind of they're now finally starting to consider things like virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, all of that. So I think that's a great thing. For my company, it'll be a while. It wasn't until 2 years that they even knew that WebEx even existed. So we're going to give them time to adapt.
Well, it's baby steps. It's baby steps.
Yeah, and that skill training is huge in healthcare, because people coming to us to work in clinical positions are not getting the skill training in school that they once did. From what I hear, that's the same in other industries too. People aren't arriving to work with the same skill base anymore. So now it's not only are you upskilling, but you're just level skilling to start with. And then
what a great phrase. What a great phrase, level skilling. Shannon, write that down, because I think that's perfect. You're absolutely correct. And
Quick, Jen, copyright that.
Yeah, there we go. TM, man. It's like right there with your name on it.
Thank God this meeting is recorded.
That's right. It's in perpetuity now. That's right. I think you're right. And I think we could all agree that, especially if you think in the business sector, you have a lot of what we might refer to as high potentials, that come from university and they come straight into a business world, and they don't know anything about business, right? So they went to university and they were taught, I don't know what they were taught, but they were taught all sorts of things, but not business acumen, right? And not how to lead people and not how to be good customers for their own business, So I agree. There's a certain amount of level set here that needs to be taken, and I think that that's a great potential as well.